minutes for questions for our friends from the media. Reminder to keep our questions and our follow-up questions brief. And with that, we're starting off with the Philippine Star.
Good afternoon, Sex. First question po, Secretary, bakit kailangan pa ng MOA considering na ang DPWH naman po talaga ang mandated na mag-construct ng mga classrooms? And second question po, Sec Vince, earlier nung hearing sa Senate, inamin nyo na parang 20 or 36 lang yung na-construct last year. So ano yung updated number natin? And considering na nasa month of April na tayo and June, magbubukas na naman ng klase sa public schools. Realistically, ilan po ang magagawa before ng opening ng klase sa June? And paano po natin masisiguro din yung transparency natin considering meron pa tayong problem sa flood control project? Thank you.
Siguro kung bakit kailangan, thank you for the question, kung bakit kailangan ng MOA, it's because every year nagpipirmahan talaga kami ng MOA with DPWH. Kahit dati kay Sec Bonoan, nagpipirmahan din kami. But I think there's different parameters dito ngayon sa MOA na to dahil we have the option to do it with local governments, we have the option to do it with the DPWH. Unlike before, na mandatory na DPWH lang ang gagawa. Kaya medyo naiba ka ng konti yung mga MOA natin ngayon. So, regarding the figures, maybe I'll defer to DPWH for the figures, but meron din kami.
Sige. So, una, huhuli ko na yung numbers, no? Doon sa transparency, no, unahin ko na yung importanteng tanong na yun, no? Alam niyo naman, marami na tayong mga reformang sinimulan, no, since nung September last year, no, nung nagbago ng liderato sa DPWH, ayon na rin sa direktiba ng Pangulo. So, unang-una lahat ng mga procurement ng lahat ng project, including ng mga classroom, dumadaan na sa ating bagong proseso. Unang-una yung live streaming, ikagawa yung transparency portal natin, lahat ng mga relevant documents nandiyan na, yung mga plano, yung mga magbibid, yung mga kung sinong mananalong bidder, things na wala lahat nung nakaraan, nandito na ngayon. No? So, and ang maganda dito, marami na kaming mga agreements na pinirmahan with various civil society groups, kasama na ang Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines, led by Cardinal Ambo na David, na kasama na sila sa pagmomonitor ng lahat ng proyekto ng DPWH. Kasama na rin dyan ang mga classroom. No? So, transparency, nandiyan na yung mga reformang ginawa natin. Ikagawa, alam naman natin na yung cost, binaba na natin. Unfortunately, tinamaan tayo nitong crisis na to at ang mga presyo nagtaasan pa, iba sa mga materyales, mas mataas pa kaysa dun sa dinatnan natin nung pumasok tayo na binaba natin. So that's very unfortunate, pero wala tayong magagawa dyan. No? But at the same time, pati yung pagpepresyo, very transparent din yan. Kasi lahat yan, makikita nyo lahat sa transparency portal ng DPWH kapag yan na ay pinabid. No? Kung magkano yung total na kontrata, magkano lahat ng mga materyales, etc. No? So, ginagawa natin ang lahat para ma-maintain ang transparency at masigurado ang na talagang hindi na mauulit yung mga nakita nating hindi magagandang mga ginagawa dito sa DPWH noong nakaraan. Ngayon, dun sa equally important, no, na objective natin na pabilisin ang pag-construct, no? Ang ginagawa natin ngayon is marami tayong mga i-engage na mga malalaking mga construction companies para gumawa ng mas mabilis at mas dekalidad at mas matitibay. No, kasi yun naman ang sabi sa amin ni Seksani ng Pangulo bilisan niyo ang construction, pero siguraduhin niyo na maayos ang pagkagawa. No, hindi yung isang bagyo lang masisira na. No, kailangan maayos talaga. So in order to do that, gagawin talaga nating mas stricto yung pagpili ng mga gagawa. No? At marami na kaming mga nakausap ni Sexani. Ito yung mga kontratista na typically nakikita lang nating gumagawa sa mga private sector projects na halos hindi sumasagi sa gobyerno, pero dahil nga sa tiwala nila sa ating Pangulo at sa reforma na gustong gawin ng ating Pangulo, ngayon gusto na nilang sumali. At nakikita din nila, dahil nakumbinsi sila ni Sexani na tumulong, sasama din sila dito sa pagpapagawa ng mga classrooms. So, yun ang mga dalawang ginagawa namin. Finally, sa numbers, ang expected dapat sa DPWH nitong nakaraang 2025 ay roughly about 4,000 classrooms. Right now, meron ng 3,000 na ongoing, 2,000 of which, 2,500 of which matatapos na ng June at yung remainder ay matatapos na ng September. So well within naman the 2-year cycle ng classrooms. Pero talagang pinapaspasan namin. As of today, mahigit 500 na yung 100% completed. Pero meron ng mga siguro mga 500 pa ulit na matatapos na ngayong end of April, early May. So based on our assessment, on track tayo to finish the entire 4,000 classrooms na gagawin ng DPWH for DepEd for 2025 by September of this year. So yun ang numero.
Next, we're calling on the Manila Times.
Hi po, good afternoon. Red Mendoza from the Manila Times. Sexani, of course, meron kayong MOA din with the local government units. So paano ang ano nito? Kasi of course that LGUs will also have their own construction biddings right now. So paano magiging ano nito? Kasi baka yung ibang yung LGUs may sarili din silang mga construction. How would this MOA with the DPWH affect dun sa MOA ng LGU? And Sec Vince, may recent reports po kasi na may mga ilang kontratista daw na natatakot na raw mag-bid or ayaw na raw mag-bid. So, would this affect po ba itong mga projects na ito, especially sa DepEd, lalo na mayroong mga rumors na may mga natatakot na raw mag-bid according to an online report? Thank you.
Yung MOAs with the local governments tapos yung MOA ngayon with DPWH, totally different yun. Magkaiba yun. Although maybe yung content is similar, yung costing is similar, and similar obligations on the part of the DepEd to monitor the construction. Pero yung bidding will be done by DPWH, yung sa LGU rin. Hindi involved yung DPWH dun sa LGU bidding dahil meron nga, as you said, merong sariling mekanismo yung o proseso yung mga local government units. So, and I'd like to thank also Sec Vince and DPWH kasi yung mga repairs namin, nakita namin, bumilis din. Kaya kumpiyansa din kami na bibilis din yung construction in the last few years of the Marcos administration. Kasi nga, nakikita namin pa lang yung repairs na dati minsan tumatagal, ngayon, bumibilis na.
Doon sa mga, baka naman yung mga natatakot na kontratista, yun yung mga may kinakatakot, kaya gano'n. Baka may rason silang matakot. Pero bottom line, at least yung mga nakausap namin ni Sexani, sila, ready to go. No, ready to go. Ngayon, naiintindihan ko naman, maraming alinlangan sa presyo ng materyales. Kasi nga nagbaba tayo. Pero dahil nga sa crisis, nagpasa tayo ng isang department order, yung DO-43, na papadala natin ng kopyang mga media, which allows for escalation ng presyo. No? Meaning, kung talagang makita natin na tumaas ang simento sa isang lugar, no? Kailangan lang ng 3 canvas sa lugar yun at yun na ang gagamiting presyo. No? Simple lang. No? Ang ayaw lang natin, yung kamukha dati na medyo, hindi lang medyo, pero inaabuso. No? At talagang dinadaya yung presyo. Yun ang hindi na natin papayagan. No? Pero ngayon, alam naman natin, mahal talaga. Basta makita talagang mahal, base sa mga canvas, madali naman yan, then itataas yung presyo. So walang dapat ikatakot ang mga kontratista dahil ang presyo ay magiging fair.
We now call on Inquirer for their questions.
With this MOA signing po, paano po maa-address ng maayos yung classroom shortage? I think we still have 156,000 classroom gap po if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, great question. No? Well, the most we've ever constructed in a 1 year is probably between 4 to 6,000 classrooms. Ang goal this year is 20,000. So, basta lumapit tayo dun sa goal, medyo masasabi natin in a way, it's been a historic year in terms of improvement. Pero sana maintindihan din ng tao at ng mga kaibigan sa media na these are not ordinary locations also. Minsan, wala nang lupa. Sisirain yung classroom bago gawin. Gigibayin yung magde-demolition muna bago gawin. At yung when you build upwards, I'm not a construction expert, mas alam ni Sec Vince to. Pero mas tatagal talaga yung construction, mas mahirap at medyo mag-iiba din yung costing. So yung point namin dito is there's a certain degree of difficulty din involved. But having said that, the President has really embarked and talagang there's been no effort like this in recent memory to address the problem in a very systematic fashion. So dun sa GAA pa lang, I think that's how many classrooms? It's about 20,000 classrooms, I think, under the General Appropriations Act or GAA. And then yung PPPs, which will also be bidded out this year, you're talking about 16,000 classrooms also. And that's the first of many PPPs, hopefully. No? So yun ang tingin kong framework as to addressing. But as EDCOM said, it cannot be addressed in just a few years. It will take a 10-year sustained spending program to really address not only the classroom shortage, but also the other systemic problems in education. Diba? Yung learning crisis natin, yung classroom shortage, yung training ng ating teachers. Diba? You have a skills and yung mismatch. Ibig sabihin, hindi yung math teacher ang nagtuturo ng math. So yun, hindi natin ma-address yung kagad. So we have to produce the graduates and train them. So yung mga ganon, it really takes several years to... so hindi lang ito problema ng Marcos administration. Ito yung magiging problema ng susunod na administration. So hopefully, the next administration will be as committed as this administration in addressing the problems of education.
Sisigunda ko yan yung sinabi ni Sexani. No? Kami ni Sexani kahit paano, matagal na kami sa gobyerno, paugit-ugit tong nung nagtatrabaho pa ako sa daddy ni Sexani, alam niyo naman, siya ang talagang father of modern Philippine education, si Senator Ed Angara. Problema na tong classroom shortage. Pero tingin ko, at least in recent memory, si PBBM lang ang talagang nag-isip ng iba't ibang paraan para talaga ma-address na to once and for all. Kasi dati, paulit-ulit lang pare-pareho lang ang ginagawa ng gobyerno No? Pero ngayon talaga, unang-una, never nangyari na ganito kalaki ang binudget para sa pagko-construct ng mga classrooms. Never. Not even close to what the President signed into law in January. Ikalawa, maraming mga gusto pang gawin over and above that si Pangulo para ma-address na natin once and for all itong napakatagal ng problema ito. Lalong-lalo na yung PPP at yung pagmomowa sa mga LGU tsaka sa mga probinsya. Ngayon lang nangyari ito, nasabay-sabayan. Dati halos DPWH lang talaga ang gumagawa. No? And I think that is a testament to the President's resolve na maayos to. Ngayon, kailangan maging successful tayo dito sa taon na to at sa susunod na taon para makita ng mga susunod na administrasyon na ito na ang tamang formula at dapat na itong ituloy. So, yun lang, tingin ko, with all of these things that we're trying to do, I think I'm very optimistic na magagawa natin to and this will be a breakthrough year for classroom construction.
Next, we call on PNA.
Good afternoon po, Sec Vince and Sec Sonny. Stephanie Civiliano po from the Philippine News Agency. Sir, you're mentioning or you keep mentioning that this would be a record-breaking year for the classroom constructions po. Can we have lang po ng commitment doon sa deliverable nyo by 20,000 na classrooms? Ano po yung timeline niyan, target timeline na ma-deliver or ma-assure na within the year? Ayan po.
Typically kasi, ang budget natin is really a 2-year cycle. No? Ano yan? Para kunyari, budget ng 2026. Yan, dapat mong magastos hanggang end of 2027. No, ganyan naman talaga ang ikot ng budget. Kunyari ngayon, 2025, marami pa tayong ginagawa this year. Ganun talaga ang cycle ng budget. So tingin ko, we're not ready to give you exact numbers yet. But I think by the end of the year, at least for DPWH, I think we would definitely be able to build at least, including the 4,000 that we are now building from the 2025 budget, I think we will be able to build double that for this year, meaning 4,000 from 2025 plus I think another 5,000 or more at least for 2026. Completed. Oh.
Sa side
By
naman,
end of 2026.
Opo. Sa side naman po ni Sec Sonny, gano'n rin tayo ka-optimistic na record-breaking din po.
You know, we were saying record-breaking in terms of funding and in terms of starting it. But not in completion, I don't know because it's different. You're talking about over 1,000 different local government units. Yung ibang governor, yung ibang mayor, sabi nila kaya nila ng 90 days. So let's see. Di ba kung kakayanin talaga. Yung iba, have not given a timeline. So it's hard to give a definite answer to that.
Sec, sorry. Yung sabi niyo po, starting. So, assured po na lahat ng 20,000 must start natin within the year.
I think that's the more reasonable goal. Kasi nga, sabi ni, as Sec Vin said, it's a 2-year horizon. So it's from between funding release and construction and completion, you're talking about 2 years. So it's hard to say we're already in the middle of April. So you're talking about 9 months. In 9 months, it's hard to say if you can complete a classroom. You don't know what the weather will be like in the next few months. So I don't want to hazard a guess there. Start, easily we can do more than 20,000. Yeah.
Next, TV5.
Hi, Sex. Ako po si JC from TV5. To Sec Sonny, sir, ito po ay about dun sa energy emergency, no? Kasi 'di ba recently inalaw po ninyo yung implementation ng blended learning sa mga private schools. Come June at magpatuloy po itong energy emergency. Ano po yung setup naman sa mga public schools?
Well, we're studying the possibility of solarization of our public schools. Kasi nakikita natin this is a long-term solarization, putting solar panels on the roofs of our public schools. Kasi we're seeing it done a lot in some government buildings. And Secretary Garin is very open to this. The President has already made renewable energy a cornerstone of his energy policy. So definitely nakikita ko magandang option na lagyan natin ng solar panels yung ating mga eskwelahan para makatipid. Tapos at the same time, you're helping the national effort to conserve energy also.
So maglalagay po discount in the
Well,
next...
the problem is, as you know, sa gobyerno, you have to budget a year ahead. So wala tayong, kung gusto natin gawin yan, wala tayong budget dyan actually. Unless meron tayong savings or kunin natin sa ating maintenance funds. So realistically speaking, if we're looking at doing it on a large scale, baka next year na.
Okay. So ano po yung klase na learning come June? Kung next year po?
Okay. So regarding the blended learning, wala pa kaming dyan. Kasi ang bias namin is really towards face-to-face instruction.
So kumbaga wait and see sa development. Alright, thank you.
Next, ABS-CBN.
Good afternoon, Andrea Taginas po from ABS-CBN. In terms of funding, Secretary, yung bulk po ba na gagamitin natin for the classroom ay yung flood control budget na inalis sa DPWH and nalipat sa DepEd? Is that more of the, doon po ba manggagaling yung budget for classrooms?
Siguro, I would imagine the savings from DPWH, some went to, kaya lumaki yung amin. Kasi usually 13 billion ba ang infrastructure budget. Now you're talking about 65 to 80 billion. So definitely a portion of it must have come from the flood control.
I can confirm that. That's apart from others, healthcare, etc.
Okay. And yung the rest of it, sir, saan po ilalaan ng DepEd?
Kasi yung flood control, that's about 200 billion in the past.
Yeah.
So ang napunta lang sa amin is about 13 to 60, maybe about 50 to 60 billion. So I don't know where the other 140 billion went. Maybe to health, maybe to DSWD.
And in terms of dun lang po sa mga price escalation, pati po ba yung adjustment will be very transparent also, sir?
Of course. Everything will be in the bidding documents naman pag binabid na yan. No? So lahat yan. Nasa portal lahat yan.
Thank you. Second to the last is Balitang A to Z.
Good afternoon po. Naomi po from Balitang A to Z. To Sec Vince po, since we only have a month or so before po ng pasukan, or kay Senator Angara din po, ay Secretary Angara, may plan po ba tayo na mag-inspect pa ng mga schools nationwide, most especially dun po sa mga school na ginawa, mga classroom na ginawang evacuation center, which is marami hong nagsasabi na yung quality po ng mga classroom ay medyo bumaba na rin daw kasi nga ho nagamit na ho ng maraming tao at binaha din po.
Actually, we're doing that now eh. Ngayon pala kasi meron tayong break, summer break. Summer classes will start May. So ngayon, we're assessing the structural integrity of some of our schools. Kasama na dyan yung mga sa... At maganda dito, hindi masyado nababanggit for the 2026 budget is that mas malaki rin yung pondo para sa disaster spending. Ibig sabihin, pag tinamaan ng sakuna or kalamidad ang isang lugar, mas malaki rin yung pondo niya for disaster response. So kasama yun sa mga itatayo natin mga classrooms.
Alam mo, isa sa mga napansin namin ni Seksani, lalo naman pumasok ako sa DPWH, in the past, talagang medyo may kabagalan sa pagre-repair ng mga classrooms, whether because of natural disasters or dahil wear and tear or ginamit for evacuation centers. So, yun ang ina-address din namin. No? Kaya dito sa MOA nito, very clear yung provisions for maintenance. No? Kasi yung talaga, alam mo, unfortunately, no, dyan talaga medyo minsan, madalas nagkukulang ang gobyerno. Pero yan talaga ang gusto naming pagtuunan. Apart dun sa pagpapabilis ng pag-construct ng bago, kailangan ma-maintain din natin ang mas mabilis at maayos yung mga existing. No, so yun ang kung halimbawa na lang, no. Yung kunyari itong San Francisco High School sa may SM sa North, yung nasunog, no, kailangan yan talaga kailangan ma-reconstruct yan ng mabilis. Pero at the same time, yung mga tinatamaan ng disaster, kunyari yung mga tinamaan sa Kabikulan, sa Cebu, sa Masbate, yan talaga nagtrabaho kami with DepEd para mapabilis talaga yung pagpapaayos nun. So we have to focus both on the construction of new as well as the maintenance. No? So kailangan talaga ayusin din yun.
And lastly, Bombo Radio.
Good afternoon po, Isa Cotoner from Bombo Radio Philippines. Sirs, ask ko lang po yung since balak nyo po na kumuha nga ng talagang quality no, ng mga contractors when it comes sa bidding, hindi po ba maepektuhan ito yung budget? Kasi since maglalaan din naman po talaga tayo to have high quality contractors.
Hindi naman. Kasi lahat naman ng kontratistang sasali sa bidding, doon lang sila sa maximum budget eh. Hindi naman sila pwedeng humingi o mag-bid ng mas mataas doon. So, and tanggap naman nila eh. No, and I think fair naman yung pricing nito. Yun nga because of what's going on now, syempre may konting taas yan. No, lalo na sa mga ibang lugar na mahirap puntahan. Kung mahirap puntahan ng isang lugar, syempre, logistics yan, diesel yan, crudo yan. No? Syempre tataas yun. Pero wala tayong magagawa eh. Ganun talaga. No? Pero at the end of the day, subject pa rin to a ceiling yan.
Madagdag lang po. Kaya nagpa-participate yung mga contractors na dati hindi nagpa-participate kasi humina rin yung demand for construction in the private sector. So they're looking towards. So itong classroom building effort ng DPWH, DepEd, and ng gobyerno, ng local governments is good for the economy in general kasi nationwide magkakaroon ng economic activity kahit nag-slow down yung private construction.
Next po, sir, yung sa standards lang ng classrooms na mga itatayo po kasi mabilis na lang na gumawa ng mga classrooms ngayon. But how can we assure the public na yung classrooms po natin will last and hindi po siya yung parang ginawa lang din to suffice yung target classrooms po natin?
Yes, that's a great point. We have our minimum standards for classrooms and must withstand winds of how many? ilang kilometers? 340 kilometers. Tinaas na natin yung standard kasi umiba na yung panahon. So kung dati 200 plus kilometers yan, ngayon 340 kilometers na dapat yung ma-withstand niya. Tapos yung warranty is at least 25 years, di ba? So definitely, merong pananagutan siya ng mga gagawa ng classrooms.
All right. Thank you, everyone. That ends the conference portion of our program.
Congratulations once again to DepEd and DPWH.